Child support in Florida, it's a formula. It's pretty straightforward. Every case with children, you have to have what we call the child support guidelines worksheet. So it starts with incomes. What is your income? What is your spouse's income? If there's an imputed income, then we're going to include that too. Income, then there's certain adjustments that are made for who's paying for the child's health insurance, because that parent who's paying for the health insurance should get that benefit. There's also an adjustment made for the overnight schedule. So a 50-50 overnight schedule, the obligor parent is going to pay less in child support than maybe if they had a 20-80 schedule or something different. So there is an adjustment made for the amount of overnights. Then there are certain other deductions. You have out-of-pocket medical costs, you have school or daycare, until you get to the bottom of that number. And it is what it is. It's a presumptive number. You can't really deviate from it too much, except under certain circumstances.
Yeah, child support in Florida, I mean, it's the formula, it's pretty simple. What are the incomes? What are the nights everybody has with the kids? And a couple of other little things like how much is the childcare and health insurance. And you put it in the formula, it spits out a number. It is what it is. There's a few exceptions to where that number can be higher or lower, but it's pretty straightforward.
And it's a payment from one parent to the other parent. And it's not for the parent to get their nails done. It's not for them to go out and go shopping. It is for the shopping for the child, for the groceries, for the electric, for the water. It's basically a living expense payment. So it's going to be child support plus, and there's other out-of-pocket expenses that the parents would have to pay.
Yeah, and usually, like, you have things like that just the formula isn't meant to cover. Like if you go to a doctor and you have to pay a copay. Yeah. If little Mary needs braces, usually that's going to be a big expense. Or certain types of extracurricular activities for the kids. And the way the courts deal with that basically is they divide it up. They call it pro rata. It basically means each person's relative income to each other. If two people are making the same amount of money, they'll each pay half of these uncovered expenses. If the husband makes twice as much as the wife, he's going to pay 2/3 of these expenses, and the wife will pay 1/3.
And so remember, part of the child support formula is incomes, right? And what happens if you have somebody, just say dad, has his own construction company, or he's a contractor where he can basically pay himself whatever he wants, right? What happens in that situation?
Well, in those cases, we have to do what's called impute income to the other spouse and really show the court what he is actually making. When you have situations like that, it's really important that you talk to an attorney before the divorce process starts, so that you can understand what realistically you might be able to prove your husband can make, so that you can get an idea of how much support you might actually be entitled to, and also understand how much effort and legal spend it takes to get what might be a higher child support number.
If you have questions about child support, the numbers, the calculation, please give us a call or call another qualified attorney. They can tell you what child support number we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, right in the calculation, Ashley's right down the hall. She does a lot of our consultations, and right during the meeting, we have the software up and we do the calculations. You know what number is. We just demystify it all and help you understand what you might be able to plan around getting.